Good morning, students. Function. But now, today's class, we are going to study in detail what are the types of functions. So, the first type of function, that is a built-in function. So, let's see what is a built-in function. So, built-in functions are those functions which are already available in the Python library. So, Python library. Python library is a space or a repository which contains many things which is already defined, and it contains most of the keywords. So keywords are reserved words, means they have some specific task to do. So functions, built-in functions are those predefined functions available in the Python library. And more the built-in functions are, the language is more efficient also. So we don't need to import any module. It is the main difference between built-in function and modules. That means we don't have to import any modules from the library. So it is the main advantage of built-in function. You can simply use any function without importing. It means in a program, when you type a program, you can simply write the function name. You don't have to bring any module or import any module from the library. Okay, so first of all, we can see which are the types of built-in function. First is type conversion function. You already know what is a type conversion function, but now again I am going to tell you what is it. Type conversion functions are those functions which converts any specific value given to the function to a specific type. Means it converts from one type to another. What are types? You know the data types that are available in Python. Integer, float, list, tuple, etc. Right? So those are the types. So whatever the value we give inside the type conversion function, it will be converted to a specific type. Here you see the three examples. What are the three examples given here? Int, str and float functions. These functions are used to convert the value to the, here the int function, you can see this converts any value given inside the parenthesis or any value given to it as argument. This converts that argument into integer value. Again, str is string function and float function. These also converted to corresponding type. Given value will be converted into string here and the given value will be converted to float here. Then now we can go to next thing, that is str. Here is an example, str function, how does it convert. Again, int function is also given. You can see that int function, here you can see the int function. What does the int function is doing here? It converts 1 2 3. It is single quoted here. It converts this single quoted 1 2 3. Single quoted means what? It's a string, right? So in anything that is single quoted, it will enclose, that is enclosed in single quotes, will be a string. So this string is now converted into an integer. So when we press enter, you get the 123, which is an integer. So str of 233 again. Str of 233. This 233 should be converted to str. So string will be always enclosed in single quotes. So when it is so as the output we get the 233 enclosed in single quotes. Then again we have in 334.56. In 334.56 mean integers are those numbers which are whole numbers. It will not be what? It will not have a fractional part. So here the 334.56 is converted to 334. Again you have another example, that is int of minus 34.2. So what are the integers means it consists of negative numbers also. So this 34 will be minus 34 will be taken as it is and the decimal part will be avoided. So it is again converted into an integer. Then you can see the last example where int has the argument hello. So hello is a string. This cannot be converted. A string cannot be converted to an integer. So it gives an error there. See what the error is also given. Next, float of 26. So float of 26 means, 26 is not a float value because it doesn't have any decimal point or fractional part. So this 26 to be converted to a fraction or a float number, it should have a decimal point which will be succeeded by some number. So this is the output. Then again you see float of 3.14159, which is quoted, single quoted, enclosed in single quotes. That means that the string is given as an argument. So the string will be converted to a float number which is not at all quoted. Okay, now input function. Input function is a function which you guys are very familiar. Means input function is used to receive input from the user. So you can see the example here. You can see the example here. See the example here. Int of input of enter cost price means the cost price equal to int of input of enter cost price. So when this statement is running, what will happen? The output will be enter cost price will be the output. The input function always takes a string as argument. This is a function. The function, the format of a function, it will have a name and parenthesis inside which you will have some, it will have a name, the parenthesis, and it will have some argument in it. So here the input function is this one, and it will give this give output. Whatever the argument is given inside, that will be the output there, and it also waits an input from the user. So here 60 is the input that the user has given. So 60 input has taken, and then again enter profit. Again there is a enter profit. Prompt is given from the input function. Enter prompt will come. Enter profit prompt will come. Then you give the prompt, means you give the integer, and it will take it. So it waits until you give an input. But here there is a small thing to keep in mind. Means here you see ind of. You can see the keyword ind here, right? So what is this ind refer to? Whatever the input you give, it should be an integer here. If the input is not an integer, it will not take that input. It will show an error. Okay, so that is it. So ind of input of means the input should be an integer. If there is no int preceding it, input preceding the input function, there is no issue. You can give any input, whatever it is. If it is an alphabet, if it is a number, it's okay. Okay, now I think you got what an input function is. Now we'll go to eval function. Eval means eval, that is evaluate a value, evaluate the value, or evaluate. You can say it like that. So eval function is also something similar to input function, but inside the eval function you can give an expression as an argument, and it will take the expression as argument. You can see the eval function takes 45 plus 10 as the argument. So it evaluates the expression, means it calculates the value of the expression and then gives the output. Okay, so when you print the x, you will get, when you print x, you will get the sum of 45 and 10. That is, the output is what? 55. Okay, now max function. Max function is also another built-in function which takes more than two values as argument, two or more values as argument. So as the name, what does the max, as soon as you see the max name, that means it is mostly related to something maximum, right? So you can give a set of values. You can give a set of values. See here, a set of values are given as arguments, means there are four values given as argument in the max function. So these set of values can be given, out of which the biggest value will be shown as the output. So here in the first example, the biggest value is what? 15, right? So that is the output given. Then again you have negative numbers as input. You know, out of negative numbers, the smallest digits will be the smaller digits will be the what? Will be the biggest one. So it also treats negative numbers in the way which it should be treated. Then again, max of pointed, those numbers having decimal points can also be used. So it also prints according to that. Then again, min function. I don't have to explain it so much, I think. Min function also takes more than two or more arguments and then leaves the result. You can see negative, a single negative number is here, and you also know that negative numbers are always smaller than positive numbers. So here is the only negative number is minus 109. So this 109 is shown as the output. Okay, now then it is min of that is a normal example. Again you can see y equal to min of hello, how are you, sir. So what it does is, here sir is given as the answer. So what it does is, you know, each and every letter in English, the capital letter and small letter in English has an ASCII code which you have studied in +1. So you haven't by hearted it, but even then you know the fact that each and every alphabets in English means capital and plus the small letter have its own what? ASCII code. So the ASCII code of these letters are added to get the sum, are added to get the value of this string, and then they are compared, and out of it the minimum value will be returned. Okay, so ASCII codes of hello, you know, R, ARER means, you know, the value of A is small letter A is 95 or 96 something. So this will be added 96 plus the value of R and ASCII code, E in ASCII code will be added, and you will get a sum, and these sums will be compared. Okay, then these sums will be compared and you will get a value which is the minimum. That will be output. So here the ASCII code values, when it is summed up, they are getting sir as the minimum value. That's it. Then again, familiar built-in functions. Familiar built-in function means I meant what are the built-in functions which you have already come across. So first one is ABS. ABS, you know, that's absolute value of a given number. ABS function gives absolute value of a given number. So what do you mean by absolute value? What does it mean by absolute value? Absolute value means it's a value. It simply ignores all the symbols, all the signs. If it is a negative number, ABS of -5 will be 5. ABS of 5 will also be 5. It simply ignores the sign preceding the number. That's it. Then type function. You know, type function also give what? Type of the value you are giving inside it. Means if you give type of 1, you know 1 is an integer, it will return class type int. So if you give type of what? 2, 2.5, it will give what? Class type float as answer. Likewise it will give, so length, you know, len, what is length? It gives length of an object, len, that is length of an object. Whatever you give inside the parenthesis, it finds out the object's length and return its length then. Then you know, this function means the round function. You are not that much familiar with it. So I will tell you what is a round function. You have, you may have, or I don't know, you may have studied how to round a number. So this function also does the same thing, rounding a number. It simply rounds a number. Means you have two arguments to be given inside the round function, that is one is n and one is p. N means the number you want to round and p is the number of places to which the number should be rounded. So when n is number to be rounded and n is mandatory, means n should be always given. This n is always important. You cannot skip that n. But up to how many places it has to be rounded, if it is not given, it will round up to 0 places, it will not round it. So now you can see an example. So there can be many situations when you round a digit. Here you can see round of 12.452. So there is no what here, only the number to be rounded is given, no p is given, that is how much places it has to be rounded, it is not given. So that means what? 12 means it cuts off all the digits after the decimal point. Again rounding 12.534. So in the rounding method, how it happens, the to which place it has to be rounded, it checks the place succeeding the place which the number is. If the number is greater than or equal to 5, the previous number will be incremented by 1. So that's what here you can see 5 is, here you can see 5 is the number after the point, right? 5 is the number after the point. So this 5 should be what? 5 should be, 5 is equal to 5. 5 is equal to or greater than 5. So this, as this 5 is coming here, 1 should be added to the previous number. Then only it can be rounded. That is 12 will become 13. Then again round off for 12.452, 0. If 0 is given, here you can see if 0 is given, what happens is the 0 will be means number of places to be rounded will become 1. Means 0 will be there after the point. It simply puts a 0 after the point. It gives a float value. Here it gives an integer in the above example, that it gives an integer as output. But in the other next example, it's not like that. 0 was there as p's value. So what happens is a1 0 will be there only after the decimal point. Then here you can see a p, positive integer, as one positive integer is given as p. So what happens when positive integer is given as p? Let's check. You can see here 1, right? So it says that one value should be there after the decimal point. So you can see 12.452. You know this, so only one value should be there. So you check whether after this first value, check the next value is greater than or equal to 5. So it's equal to 5. So this 4 should be incremented by 1 because it's equal to 5, right? So this 4 should be incremented to 1 and the rounded number will be 12.5. So this 4 means this 4 will be incremented by 1. So then again you can see p is a negative integer, means if p is a negative integer, what will happen? So negative integer means it rounds the whatever continues after the decimal point, it does not checks. You see p is a negative, n is rounded up to p digits before the decimal and result is a float. The trailing p digits are rounded off to 0 in case of negative value of p. If this p is negative, this part which is followed after the decimal point will be fully neglected. Then again, here you can see 12,1,2,3,4 means 1234 is rounded to 1230, means negative 1 is the value. You can see here the value is negative 1, right? So this -1 is the value which is given here. So what happens is, this -1 means one place here, the last place. So this 4 should be rounded. 4 is rounded means it will be rounded to 0 only, because it's less than 5 also. So it will be rounded to 0. Here you can see 1,300. 1,300 means what? Here 1,258 was the value, and it has to be rounded to -2 places. -2 places means what? Here you have to see -1, -2. So that is the place. So this 5 is the place where you have to round. This 5 is the place where you have to round. So you check whether, so here the value is equal to 5. That means this 2 should be incremented by 1. So this will become 3 and the other 2 becomes 0, and the rounding is done now. Now we will go to the range function. You know range function? You have used it several times in +1. It is nothing. The range functions are the functions used for for loops. It's used to define series of numbers. Means in the range function you have 2 or 3 arguments. So if it is 2, the first argument will be the beginning of the range and the second argument will be the end of the range. So you can see example, range of 5, 9. So this means what? 5 will be the first number. It starts from 5 and the numbers will be up to 9, but 9 will not be there. 9 minus 1 numbers. It gives numbers, it creates numbers 5, 6, 7, 8, only up to 8, not 9. Okay. So next again can see range of 5. So only beginning is given, only one argument is given. So it will not be treated as the beginning, it will be treated as the end number. So it generates from 0 to 5 minus 1. So range of 5. So it generates 0 to 5 minus 1. Then again list of range of 10, 72, 5. So list means, you know what is a list? It's something that gives a list of integers or whatever it is, which is separated by comma and enclosed in square brackets. So list. So here you see 3 arguments given. You can see the 3 arguments given. So the 3 arguments are given. So you have to do what? The last argument is given for incrementation. The last 5, argument 5 is given for incrementation. So the number will start from 10. Then the next number will be incremented by 5. Number will start from 10 and the next number will be incremented by 5. And then that is 10, 15, 20, 25. Each time the incrementation happens, it checks whether it is less than the ending range or what. It checks whether it is less than or less than 72 or not. So it keeps on checking and it keeps on incrementing. When it becomes greater than or equal to 72, what happens is the list will not print that value. It stops printing the series and it will give output like this. And you know, first it was given list. So the output will be enclosed in square brackets, and then each and every number will be separated by comma also. Right? So this is all for today. Thank you.